I say very simply, because I believe in nationalism, which is the right of ethnic peoples to live on ancestral land, and I believe that Israel is an ethnic national state. I believe that our state, like any state like Armenia, would want to defend and to help promote our ethnicity because it's an ethnic national state. That being said, as the Torah says, and as rationality says, and as actually the League of Nations mandate for Palestine said, that the non-Jewish minorities living in this land should have civil rights and upward mobility, inequalities and civil rights. When it comes to voting in our statewide democracy, I don't believe in that as much. I believe that it should be residency with local voting for Arab cities or Palestinian cities like Hebron, like Ramallah. I think that people that predominantly live in, let's say, an Arab city, a Palestinian city, can vote for their own mayors and do their own stuff internally, have their own kinds of courts and judges. But of course, they should be residents of the state of Israel, pay taxes to the state of Israel. The state of Israel should make sure that there's good sewage, good roads, good education, good health care, good upward mobility, good access to universities. I believe very much in minorities having residency in our land with upward mobility. Of course, as long as they're non-jihadist and are loyal. A great example of that is the Druze in Israel, who just today I spoke to my friend Atta Farhat from the Druze Zionist Council. The Druze are, what's the difference between a Druze and a Palestinian? There's only one thing that is a difference between a Druze and a Palestinian. They have a different religion, they may have some different genes or not, but the main thing is that what's in here is different. One, the Druze are about loyalty. And the Palestinian movement in general, and today I know personally, hundreds of Palestinians, and they represent tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of Palestinians who are not with this, but the Palestinian Authority and Hamas are jihadist. They're jihadists. They're not about liberation and victimization, all that stuff. They're about jihadism and the destruction of Israel for a Islamic goal and a nationalist goal, which has nothing to do with victimization and peace. It's about destroying Israel. Many Palestinians today don't want this anymore. They want to move over to the Abraham Accords, to the Druze outlook, towards living as residents of the state of Israel, maybe even citizens. I'm less in favor of that, but friends on the nationalist camp believe that as well, that loyal minorities should have a pathway to citizenship. That's also should be contemplated. I myself am not as favor of that. I'm in favor of the Torah's outlook of what's called ger toshav, resident alien. If you respect us, and this is, by the way, the plain rules of the Middle East. If you respect us, and you can live in our land peacefully without trying to undermine us, we want you to be successful. I want, as a sovereign, for my minorities, if they are in the old city of Jerusalem or in Ramallah or in Hebron, to have success, to have success, to all have success and to be upwardly mobile, as long as they don't try to undermine the sovereign, which is my ethnic national state, which is called Israel, which is the way all the other countries around here are. So that's the way forward, I think.